This is Bruce Bochy, and you're listening to the Ranger Report.
The Ranger Report. Yeah, the Ranger Report. If you want the inside scoop, listen to the Ranger Report. Oh, here we go.
This is the Ranger Report podcast. News, insights, predictions, interviews, and information about the Texas Rangers from the major leagues to the minor leagues. And now, here are your hosts, Ben Dieter and CJ Berryman.
Hey, welcome everybody to the Ranger Report podcast on the Preferred Health Solutions online studio, of course, part of the Fans First Sports Network, and always presented by Walton's. Walton's, everything but the meat. Go to waltons.com and check it out if you have not. I am Ben Dieter. You can find me on the X at BDieter75.
Getting there. You can find me at CJB_RR on the X, and I'm sporting my Hereford football gear, or Hereford gear, because my white faces are currently 5-1 in entering district play this week, and they were state ranked last week. So certainly excited for my alma mater, or whatever you say. I know you say that for your college, but I don't know what it is for high school. So I'm just going to go with that.
Close enough for me. So anyway, and you can find us at the Ranger Report, Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere else. So anyway, we are glad to be back. We have some stuff to talk about tonight. Let's start with, well, it's really funny to think about, and I'll start with a little rant here that we're slightly disappointed at 90 wins and a playoff berth only because of the way it ended on Sunday, because they lost 1-0. They had the division in their grasp and lost it 1-0. But I mean, if you really retrospectively look back over the whole season, all the injuries they went through, all the problems they had, I mean, they have one of their original starters or two of their original starters still going right now. Plus they picked up Max Scherzer, who's no longer there, all that. And they still missed the division by basically one game and still made the playoffs. I mean, you look back after winning 68 games last year, we have to be somewhat happy with the way this season went.
Yeah. Nathan Uvalde is the only one that was in the rotation to start the season that is still in the rotation, I think, is what we figured out. Martin Perez and Andrew Heaney were starters and were moved to the bullpen late in the season. So, and you lose DeGrom early on. Dane Dunning, who Bruce Bochy said is the MVP for the season.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
I cannot agree more. That's, I mean, what he did this year and stepping right in. And he actually got moved back to the bullpen for like a cup of coffee, and then back into the rotation whenever he needed. He didn't care. He's just a guy that doesn't have an ego. Yeah, he's going to do whatever it takes to win, and he did a great job. We'll get into him more on him later, but to have it shows the depth. And I've seen people. You have people saying Chris Young didn't have this team built enough. No, he had it built more than enough, because you had the depth in the organization. You had a revolving door at left field for most of the year, right?
Yep.
Lost 4 starting pitchers for significant time, some of them all year long.
Yep.
Corey Seager was out over a month.
Adolis Garcia.
AL Rookie of the Year, Josh Young.
Yep.
Out for a month. Jonah Heim was banged up for 2 to 3 weeks. You mentioned Garcia. The bullpen, our bullpen sucks.
Yeah.
We lead the league in blown saves.
Think about this for a second. I just want to bring this up.
And a revolving door out in left field.
Yeah.
Until Evan Carter at the very end solidified himself out there with Grossman playing against lefties. I mean, go ahead.
So just think about the fact that 33 blown saves. If they win half of those, they win 105 games this year.
Over 100 games.
I mean, if they win all of those blown saves, I mean, good gracious, they won 125 games.
Yeah, that would be it's unrealistic to
just say half of them, or even if they won 10 more, even they won 10 more, they win 100 games.
Just half of them. And
just
right
half
now,
of them.
Yeah. Right now, I'm worried about Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah.
Because he can't.
You can't pitch him on back-to-back days. No,
you can't do it. So I think if you're going to use him, let him go 2 innings. Go ahead and do what Bochy's been.
Well, I don't know that he can do 2 innings anymore.
I think he could. He's done it. He's done it once or twice for the Rangers this year. But you might as well get everything you can out of him in the game that you bring him in, because you're not going to get it the next day. And
No.
and that sucks. That trade, and obviously it was bittersweet. We were happy to have Chapman. We hated to see Cole Reagans go. Right now, looking back, the Royals got the better end of that deal.
Yeah, we lost that trade.
Cole Reagans has, such a high ceiling going into the future, and he's right now very comfortable in Kansas City. Obviously,
yep,
he went over there and kicked tail. So good for Cole. We're so happy for him. We're going to have him on in the off season, and we're not saying that just because he's a friend of the show. It's real. Go look at what. Cole Reagans done.
He kicked tail.
Look at how many years of retainability he has, and then look at what you have right now with Aroldis Chapman, and the Royals have won that trade.
Well, I mean, and not every gamble always takes off, and that's what a trade is a gamble. And, I still wouldn't say it's a complete and utter failure, but I would say they won the trade. Right.
Well, I mean, look at how much team control they have over.
Yeah, and Chapman is a rental, so that
he's Cole he's a starter. He's a starting pitcher over there, and he knows he's a starting pitcher. They told him, "You're going to start.
Yep.
Here you go." And he's in a comfortable spot, and it's good to see. But Chapman's got me worried. Will Smith, who actually, the Rangers aren't where they are without him early in the season, but right now it's not so great. Josh Sport's getting him back right at the perfect time. He looks really good coming off the IL. Jonathan Hernandez is looking like the Jonathan Hernandez of last year. So you're hoping the young guys, Jose Leclerc.
I was about to say the big one to me is Jose Leclerc the last 2 weeks of the season. When he was called on, he did his job really well.
Right now, I would like to see going into the playoffs here against Tampa Bay, at Tampa Bay for all 3 games starting tomorrow at 2 p.m. But I would like to see Chapman being the 8th inning guy. Or hell, even the 7th inning guy.
Yeah.
And Leclerc being the 9th, and Hernandez maybe, or Savors being the 8th inning. So you have a little bit of the back end, the very back end of the bullpen looks like it might be coming into form with our young guys that we expected them to do to start the season.
And here's the deal. The Rangers don't have the pitching to win the World Series this year, but if their bullpen can pitch like they did at the beginning of the year where they were lights out, they have a shot because the rest of their team is good enough.
Right. They didn't give up any runs. They had a streak of no runs given up in first double digits. They were in
it was like 12 games or 13 games, something like that.
Then it all went to hell.
And then it turned into the bullpen we've seen the rest of the year. But if they can somehow regain that, for just 3 weeks, then they could make a serious run.
But what makes me nervous, and we'll get into our predictions and whatnot, is you got shut out yesterday by a really good pitcher and a really good bullpen. The Mariners have an excellent bullpen.
Yep.
And George Kirby is a hell of a pitcher. He's a hell of a young pitcher that we're going to have to deal with for a while. The last 2 pitchers that they face in that series. Luckily, in the first one, in game 2 of the series, after blowing the lead in the 9th the night before, they were able to work the count. But you couldn't do that against George Kirby because he was going to throw fastball.
Yep.
You like to see the Rangers being as patient as they were on Saturday. So that was something to celebrate. And they were actually able to drive in runs when they got on base. That's something that they hadn't, this up and down seesaw that they've been on for the past 2 weeks. That's been a big problem. They're boom or bust. They're either going to go out there and slug, or they're going to do nothing. They're not manufacturing runs.
Yeah.
Saturday they were able to do that and work a good young pitcher. Yesterday Kirby just had their number. He's going to throw strikes.
Yeah.
And then they turn it over to the bullpen, and you feel just fine about that if you're Seattle. But you lose 1-0 going into the playoffs. Hey, all these teams are in the playoffs for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be facing that level of pitching no matter who you play.
Yep.
So the offense better get its stuff in gear because you're going to be getting shut out and knocked out of the playoffs in the first round by Tampa Bay if you can't take advantage of the runners on base.
And the only good thing, if you think about it, is in 2010 and 2011, their first opponent were the Tampa Bay Rays. And those were our 2 years we went to the World Series. I'm not saying that's going to happen this year, but I'm just saying at least, it's familiar to Rangers fans.
Had me some Whataburger today, but yeah, it's funny. Yeah, those two World Series teams. Tampa Bay was the first team that we faced. Obviously, there's nobody left from that. Well, no,
I don't think there's anybody left.
I was going to say Matt Bush maybe, but no, that was a few years later.
No, Matt Bush was there for the 2016 playoff.
2016 team, yeah, and it was odd seeing him.
Yeah,
back in the organization, we get the emails each day about every team in that organization, and I didn't even realize that he had returned.
Yep.
So, and he's active. He's on the. I mean, maybe they can turn to Matt Bush. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be on the playoff roster or not.
Oh, yeah, we don't know any of that just yet. They'll announce that tomorrow.
Yep.
Early tomorrow is when I guess they got to have all that done. Or
all right,
I don't know.
Let's talk a little bit about Jonah Heim and the way he played. The way he played behind the plate this year. I mean, he has become a legitimate threat offensively and defensively behind the plate. Best framer in the game. We have Austin Hedges again next year, who's probably the other best framer in the game. We have both of them on the Rangers right now. Of course, Austin Hedges can't hit, but man, he can frame and boy, he can pitch. So, the Rangers right now are looking pretty good behind the backstop. I don't think
Shohei Ohtani, Austin Hedges is coming.
I don't think Garver returns next year, though.
No, I think Sam Huff is going to fill in. I think we've talked about that a couple times.
Yep.
I believe Sam Huff is going to be getting that Mitch Garver role. The DH, he can play first base every now and then and give Lowe a break. I know they had Duran doing a little bit of that this year, but Duran's not really a natural first baseman, but Huff can do that and catch and give Jonah days off. Now, the Rangers, if you look at their offense, by far, if you just look at the two, if you consider Garver a catcher, which he was a backup catcher going down the stretch, they had the best offensive catchers output in the league, and it wasn't even close. If you just look at those two right there, you've got Mitch Garver. Obviously, he missed some time, 87 games, just 296 at bats, but he hit 19 home runs and had 50 RBIs, and his average was 270, and he had an OPS of 870. You look at Joe.
He looked really good in September.
Yeah, they're where are they in September without him? If you think about it.
Yeah, for sure. Fire.
Jonah, I said before the year, I didn't expect him to catch as many games as he did the year before because, he's tall and it's a lot of work for a guy that size, and no indictment on talent at all, obviously, because he's the best catcher on the team. He's one of the best in the league already. 131 games is how many he caught.
That's amazing.
And he had 118 hits, 28 doubles, 18 homers, 95 RBIs.
Yeah.
258 batting average, which his main job is catching. You're going to take 96 RBIs, 18 homers, 258 batting average, and a 755 OPS any day of the week when you have the defensive capability of Jonah Heim. That the offensive output of those two alone as catchers for the Rangers was by far the best in all of baseball.
And that's something the Rangers have been missing over the last 3 to 5 years is production from the catcher spot.
Consistency out of the catcher spot. It just seems like it's been a revolving door.
We've always seemed to have good defensive catchers, but they couldn't hit. And now Jonah is able to at least hit. And Garver, of course, was great, but he was the backup catcher. But yeah, that's part of the turnaround. You can look right there is the fact that they had some power hitting catchers who could knock in runs this year
and get on base. They're able to get on base. Both of them had over 300 on base percentage. Yeah, Jonah Heim was 317. Mitch Garver was 370.
Yeah.
So excellent job by the catching, especially with Heim putting the slug in and just his defensive prowess. It's just he's awesome.
And besides the season Seager had, which we've talked about ad nauseum, I wanted to mention Iron Man Marcus Semien played 162 games in 2023.
And there was somebody I saw that said something about his batting average. If he was so great that he wouldn't be hitting, let me pull this up.
Anyway, 162 games.
Yeah.
You know, 100 over 100 or 100 RBIs from the leadoff spot.
100 RBI. That hardly ever happens.
Yeah. So amazing year for Marcus Semien.
122
it really was.
Runs scored.
122 runs from the leadoff spot, which
he hit.
Tells you who he has batting behind him.
Right. Dolis and Nate Lowe, Nathan Nathaniel, I'm sorry, and Garver, Jonah, they all loved hitting after that two-headed monster at the top of the order. But Semien's average was 276. But look at how many plate appearances that he had.
Yeah,
he had 670 at bats, and that's not including 72 walks.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, he played in 162 games. That is a large sample.
Only
size.
4 players in Major League Baseball this year played in 162 games.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he's Mr. Reliable, and Mr. Reliable up there at the top of the order. Yep. Again, like you said, 100 runs and RBIs, OPS of 826, and hit Gold Glove defense, I really think. And he also stole 14 bases. So
the Rangers as a team also committed the least amount of errors they have in the last, I think, 6 years.
Yeah, they were really good defensively. Everybody improved. Josh Young was awesome.
Josh Young, I'll tell you what, it was a surprise to me. His defense is spot on. I mean, his defense is he's got to be, if not the best third baseman in the league, top 3.
He's definitely, as from what I saw, I had heard, he's good defensively, and that's all you hear. You know, you just don't. Nobody said, man, this guy really does do a good job at the hot corner. It was his batting overshadowed his fielding. In college and in the minors.
He's hands down rookie of the year if he doesn't miss that month with injury.
Oh, right. But I still think he is.
Oh, they're not going to give it to him, though.
But probably not.
No, they won't give it to him.
And Seager, he won't get the MVP. But
no, he didn't win the batting title because of yesterday.
Yep. And he had 327 to finish off the season. He actually struggled a bit toward the end.
Yeah, because he was at 333 a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he had 33 home runs, another 30 home run plus. Adolis, 39 home runs and 107 RBIs. Yeah. And we said it to start the season. If he's going to hit around 250, hit 245. If he can get that up to 260, you got more homers, more RBIs, more runs scored. But he also had 100 and 100 when it comes to runs and runs batted in. 107 RBIs and 108 runs. So a hell of a season by Adolis, a guy that we got for nothing.
For nothing.
Cash, I guess, whatever.
All right, we will break down the whole season once it's actually over, but as you know, it's not over yet. Nope. Let's talk about tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday if necessary, but the Rangers tomorrow face off against a guy that they've had some struggles with in the past, and that's Tyler Glasnow. Tyler Glasnow is a great pitcher for Tampa Bay. We're throwing Jordan Montgomery out there. This should be a low-scoring game unless the Rangers just open it up with their offense, which can happen. But I feel like it's going to be a low-scoring game, and it's going to come down to bullpens, which scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, I don't. You got to hope that our starters can go at least into the 6th. I mean, at least.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's the scary part. And the scary part, too, is that we went into went into the playoffs limping.
Yeah.
Losing 3 or 4 to Seattle, and one of those being a walk-off loss that you could have clinched the division. Then you win the next night, or to clinch a playoff spot, then you win that second game like they did on Saturday. Bam, there's the division.
Yeah.
And so that's gotta stick in there. It's gotta stick.
Yeah.
Hard.
I'm sure it does.
So it's unfortunate, but look, we didn't expect him to be there.
No.
Like we were talking about beforehand, you had them still having a losing season this year. I had them at 82 and 80.
Yeah.
A marginal improvement, but not enough to get in. Well, shut my mouth, shut your mouth.
Yep. Here we are.
We're still on here flapping our gums. But
here we are facing them. So facing Tampa Bay. But then the second game is Zach Eflin, who also had a really good pitcher for them. Had a 3.50 ERA this year in 31 starts. So, again, we got 2 really tough pitchers we're going to have to face. The Rangers haven't announced it yet, but I'm guessing it's going to be Nathan Eovaldi for game 2.
Yeah, I would imagine to be Eovaldi in game 2, Dunning probably game 3.
If the Rangers don't win game 1, I feel like they're in trouble.
Yeah, and I guess we can go ahead and talk about it now. I don't expect to get past the first round.
No, I don't either.
I just don't think the Rangers had they're limping in, like I said, coming off a bad series against Seattle, a heartbreaking on Friday.
Yeah,
loss
Friday was the one that lost us the division, really.
Yeah, it really did, or Thursday. Was it Thursday?
It was Thursday. Sorry, Thursday. Yeah, Thursday was the one that lost us the division.
No, it was Friday. No,
Friday was the blowout because we won Saturday.
No, you got it backwards because my birthday was on Thursday. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, the 2-1 loss is the one that lost them the division.
Yes, that 2-1 loss where Jordan Montgomery was spectacular.
Yeah,
and he gave up nothing. I mean, there were no. I mean, it was a 1-0 game going into the last inning. Or I'm sorry, 2-1. No, yeah,
we lost 2-1, but he gave up no runs though. Yeah,
1-0 game, and Aroldis Chapman came in on a back-to-back, and he could not hit the broadside of a barn. He probably actually got close to hitting the barn with. He had a wild pitch, and Hernandez came in and almost got him out of it. But anyways, I just don't see the Rangers. Their health isn't very good. Limped into the postseason. You're facing the Rays, who one of the best teams in baseball.
We did win the season series 4-2 against the Rays.
Somehow we did. Yeah. They started out the season undefeated to set the record. How many games was it? 17?
Yeah, it was a bunch.
I think. So they've got a lot of super good young talent, and it seems like they do every single year. And you'd like for the Rangers to dust it off and come out refreshed after a day off. Although they had to do a bunch of packing to go back to fly home, then go to Tampa, and so I just
look.
If we were full bore, I'd be much more confident. But I'd love to be just enjoying the.
I'd love to be 100% confident about it, but I just like you said, they're limping in. They have basically 2.5 starters at the moment. Dunning, Montgomery, and then Eovaldi's half a starter. They have 2.5 starters right now, and that's all they have left from the season. They've got a bullpen that has maybe 2 reliable arms right now in Jose Leclerc. And, I wouldn't even call Spores reliable, although when he's good, he's amazing. But when he's bad, he's hideous. So, it's
which Spores shows up.
They got no one else to trust in the bullpen. And if they go to game 3, if they get through game 2 with Eovaldi in the bullpen, it'll be amazing.
Right. And Eovaldi, what's funny is he started out the game against Seattle the other night. I mean, he was on fire.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Looked fantastic. And then you have that long half inning where the Rangers were out there forever.
Yep.
And they had the starting pitcher, Wu, through. It was like at pitch 80 by the end of the 3rd inning.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Had that long 3rd inning. And the Rangers didn't score any runs. They had the bases loaded. They had 2 on in both the first and second innings, in the second inning as well. And so the second and third innings, the Rangers had 6 runners left on base. And you spend that much time out there, and Eovaldi spends that much time off the pitching mound, and he's gonna cool off. He's gonna stiffen up a little bit. It's just the nature of the game, especially in Seattle this time of year. So I say it kind of wasn't his fault, just a little bit because of that, but we expect more out of him. And but it was good to see him throwing, the velos back up.
Yeah,
the splitter looked amazing, and it's there. It's there.
Yeah,
you can do it. That's comforting.
I agree with you completely, but I think, and I'm excited about next year. I don't want to look too far ahead yet because there's always a chance. That sorry, I got distracted there for a second. Always a chance that they could, make a run, but my gut feeling, your gut feeling says that they're not going to make it out of the first round, and that's I mean, again, much better year than I expected, much better year than you expected. Nothing to be sad or upset about. Just it is what it is, and I'm glad that they got this far, and I'm very excited about the future. I mean, look at Evan Carter, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
that dude
left
is
fielder. Right
there's
there.
your left fielder forever.
Mm-hmm. Our outfield is set for
the eternity.
and yeah, because there's guys in the minors, and we've.
Well, that's the thing. I don't even know that Dolis is going to be here long term, because I think Wyatt Langford is on his way very soon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that being next year. A lot of people saying next year. No,
but soon.
Starting AAA, and then he might be coming up because, and having that depth in the organization overall, and you saw it this year.
Yep,
somebody's going to come out and be playing. Ezekiel Duran had a hell of an early part of the season in place of Corey Seager. So
yeah,
I mean, and Mitch Garver coming back, and it just everything kind of happened at the right time.
Yeah,
in order for the Rangers to get into the playoffs, and everybody had a hand in it. So
I agree.
We'll just cross our fingers and hope. No, we're not. We're disappointed that they didn't win the division. We're happy they made the playoffs. No, I'm not mad at the organization at all, but there's a lot of people saying that are complaining right now, and it just guys, gals.
Yeah, remember where we were last year?
Yeah, it went from 68 wins to 90.
There was no meaningful baseball from August 15th on last year.
From since 2016.
Yeah,
or for that, at least the last 5 years.
Well, they had a run last year. You remember where they almost made it to 500, and then
it got bad.
They lost like 20 or 25 or something.
It was bad. But yeah, so just enjoy it while they're there. Nobody expected it. You didn't expect it. I mean, I know expectations can change as the season goes on, but hey, look, the expectation is the Rangers don't get past the first round. We can be wrong.
Yeah, we can be wrong, and we hope we are.
And we hope we are. But I just don't. I can see it being a 2-0 sweep, and that's it.
Well, the funny thing is, like you said, I can see it being a 2-0 sweep either way. Like I can see the Rangers sweeping 2-0 just because their offense clicks.
I got to disagree. I can't see the Rangers doing a sweep, but
I can. If they can score 11 runs a game, they can do a 2-0 sweep.
I just don't think that's going to be possible against
the pitching they're facing. They're not facing the Oakland Athletics. They're facing two of the best pitchers in baseball.
You're getting what you saw out of George Kirby every single
correct
out. So.
And they're tired. I mean, I hate to say it, but they're tired.
They look tired. Did they not look exhausted? Even in that 2-1 loss where they were about to – I mean, it looked like they were just flat out exhausted, deflated, just like, God, let's get the season over with. Let's clinch a playoff berth and just golly. They did, and they have a reason to be exhausted. It's been an up and down.
Well, year. They haven't been there, done that. They haven't played meaningful games this late in the season. Well, most of these players never have.
A lot of the players, the young players, they've never played this much baseball in a season ever.
Evan Carter, I mean, all these guys.
Josh Young,
all these guys have never played. I mean, Josh Young has missed most of the seasons, the last two. Before this one,
Leody Taveras, he hadn't played 162 games. I mean, there's a ton of guys that have not played anywhere near this many games. So now they know what they got to do to prepare in the offseason next year to be good for all 162. So 162 plus
next year will be way plus, hopefully. So and this year, like I said, we still got at least two to go, maybe three. So y'all sit back, call in sick to work, and enjoy some playoff games.
Luckily I work from home, so
well, I don't, but I can put it on my computer while I'm teaching, so I will.
I will DVR it so I can go back and
hopefully enjoy it later.
Yeah, and especially the pitching. You know me, I'm going to get in on the pitching.
You love the pitching.
Love the pitching.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We will be back next week with another episode, hopefully to talk about the division series, but we will see what happens over the next 3 days. See ya.
Go Herd. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Ranger Report podcast. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, and at therangerreport.com.